Hello, welcome to Autism Talk. I'm really excited about my YouTube channel, sharing the information about autism. Whether you know it or not, you have encountered someone with autism. Whether you're the one with autism or not, you have encountered someone with autism. It's not as always as noticeable, and it's not something that you can take a look at somebody and just like, yeah, they have autism. It's nothing like that. I do want to share with you by answering one of the questions that I received from a friend through an email that I shared with you all. I want to say on Saturday. I'll just repeat. I did receive an email from a friend, and in the subject it said thoughts. And she had about 9 questions about autism that she was asking, asking about. So I want to take time to respond to her questions. I'm not going to answer all 9 questions in one video because I think that'll be a long or lengthy video. So for today, I am going to answer her first question. And her first question was, what are some signs or symptoms that of autism that you can notice from people or children or adults that may have autism? So I'm thinking, I'm also doing the question the way I can answer the question. What are some symptoms or some signs or things that you may notice that someone may have autism that may trigger, or I don't want to say trigger, let's take that word out of there, that may put up a signal or a warning that this person or this child may have autism. Okay, so for starters, for autism, everyone is not alike. Okay, everyone is not alike. There are some popular, I don't like to say symptoms. There are some popular signs that you may notice with children with autism. You may start noticing, very young, some signs of autism are like not responding to their name. You're calling their name, they're not responding to their name. Doesn't necessarily mean they can't hear you, because a lot of times we go and check out their hearing, but also it could be something with autism, okay? So if they're not responding to you calling their name, it's a possibility, but I don't want you rushing your baby to the doctor because they didn't respond to you calling their name, okay? Also, avoiding eye contact. They're not looking at you in your eyes as you're talking to them. They're always looking away. They can find something else to do, to pay attention to. And these are in young children, okay? Not trying to get the eye contact. Something else would be not smiling when you smile at them. So you're smiling, you want them to smile back, and they're not returning that smile to you, okay? That could be a sign. Also, getting very upset if they do not like a certain taste, smell, or sound. Oh, I mean, throwing tantrums, hollering, screaming, or just covering their ears. They will react to it differently. Certain smells might just trigger them. They can't stand the smell of something, might start feeling sick, start gagging and things like that. It could be something that they taste, and they're oversensitive about certain things. And then noise could be one also. Maybe they're covering their ears, maybe they hollered and screaming like and if it's a toddler and they're crying and covering their ears, or it's the noise that's irritating them, then that could be also a sign of autism due to they're extra sensitive to things. Yes, not all of them, not everybody, not everyone with autism have this sensitivity, okay? this may be a part of it, okay? Even noticing food that they eat, things that they drink, just their taste. It may, make them gag. It may make them like, they're overreacting as we would notify it. But for them, it's not overreacting, okay? Also, repetitive movements, such as flapping their hands. They might flap their hands in excitement, and they just keep flapping. Or they might be flapping their hands when they're thinking or concentrating, but you're noticing that they're flapping their hands, flicking their fingers, or rocking their body back and forth. Rocking their bodies back and forth, or just flicking their fingers. You're like, what are they doing? It's just little things. It could be the slightest things. These are some common signs, and there are others. Please don't get me wrong. There are others, but these are very common. How about, they're not talking as much as other children. The other kids are talking and they're not responding. The other kids, as toddlers also in daycare, in preschool, in Head Start. Do they still have Head Start? And they're not talking or communicating as much as the rest of the kids. Not to say they can't, but they're not, okay? And in some cases, they may not be able to communicate because all autism people are not able to verbalize their ways, okay? Communicate verbally, let me say that. Some may be able to speak and some may not. But for those that are speaking, or maybe that may even be a way that you know that he can't communicate or have a challenging time communicating, you notice that they're not talking as much as other children are talking. They're not doing as much in pretend play, okay? They're not, they're not participating as actively. All right. They're just like they're not really interested, or they might just do a little, even with the dolls, with the cars, trying to play like they're driving the car, and they're not participating as actively as others children would, or as you would see as, like, oh, this kid is doing it, a lot more than this one. So they're not participating as much, all right? And also repeating the same phrases. They'll repeat the same thing over and over again, maybe 2 or 3 times. What'd you say? What'd you say? What'd you say? So that's just a question, but they may repeat what somebody says a couple of times, or even repeating themselves a few times. So those would be some common signs of young children with autism.